Hey, I'm JR. I'm back here, and we're going to talk a little bit about scapular exercises. Scapular exercises, or shoulder blade exercises, are super important because they protect our shoulders. So our scapular muscles provide the stability to our shoulder joint that allows our shoulders to do what they do. If our scapular muscles aren't strong, then we're getting a lot of accessory or inherent motions potentially in our shoulder, and that can lead to things like tendonitis or pain in the shoulder. So if you're having some of that, you might want to try some scapular exercises to stabilize the shoulder and protect the shoulder. And some of my favorite exercises we're going to go over, and there's quite a few, and we're going to go through a couple varying levels of them. So this first video, we're just going to do prone exercises, some of the great exercises you can do prone. I'm going to show you just with one pronator to start with here. So I have a 2-pound weight attached on the end of the pronator. I'm going to lay prone, or belly down, on this stability ball here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this weight out to the side. I'm going to do something we call T's, Y's, and I's. So an I, or an arrow, is with the weight straight back. Now traditionally you do this with the dumbbell just in your hand, and you could do this motion, but with the pronator, what's kind of unique with the pronator, let me scoot up here a little bit for this exercise, is that the pronator held out here wants to be pulled down, so gravity is trying to pull this down. I'm using my external rotators of my shoulder to do this, so I'm working scapular muscles along with rotators, and specifically the external rotators. So I'm doing this arrow or this I position with the dumbbell held out on this lever arm, as you can see here, and I'm getting some external rotation strength along with my traps. Now it's really important that we isolate the mid trap or lower trap and not the upper trap. Upper trap activation is the shoulder hike. So when you're doing an exercise like this, you got to think about tucking your shoulder blade into your back pocket, or keeping that shoulder blade depressed, because if it's coming up, that's training the wrong muscles. So keep that shoulder blade tucked, keep that dumbbell moving up and down in that lower position, that I position. The next position is more of a T, straight out. Again, pronator in my hand wants to pull me down, so I'm using external rotation and my external rotators to hold that steady. I'm dropping that down to the floor, and I'm bringing that up to the ceiling. That exercise isn't easy. That's isolating a little bit more of the mid trap. While we're doing that, you're getting some deltoid work in your shoulder also, and then again with the lever arm, we're kicking in some of your rotator cuff. That last position is a Y. So that's with the weight out in front of me, not directly in front of me, not to the side, but on a 45-degree angle away from that. It's actually like 135 degrees at the shoulder, and you're lifting that up into the air. Same thing, weight out. If I turn the pronator around in this position and come down, I'm actually favoring a little more of my internal rotators, and I can strengthen those. Same thing out here in that T. If I turn it backwards, I'm actually hitting my internal rotators in my rotator cuff. So you can do a set of 10 this way, a set of 10 this way, and you're working different muscles of the rotator cuff all while working those scapular stabilizers. Let me show you what this looks like from the front, just so you can see that from a different angle. Again, starting with that I position, straight back on my side, weight out, lifting my arm up and down this way. If I turn this to the T position here, that's flying out, keeping that weight steady, elbow straight. Elbow straight keeps a stiff lever arm, puts all that force back in the scaps, and then that scaption, or that Y position, lifting up this way. You can rotate it. I can do some I's that way. So that's a tough exercise to do for just one. I really like doing two, so you can have, if you got two, I got two pronators here. I don't know if I can keep these on camera very well, but you can do two at one time. That's a really, really great way to work some of that strength and some of that stability. You can bring it up in that Y position, work the two, back in that arrow position, working the two, and my shoulders are tired, and that's just a 2-pound weight, so don't put a lot of weight in here, because that's gonna tire you out. Those are some really good scapular stabilizer exercises. You can do those on a ball, you can do them laying on the ground, you can do them on like a bench or a table, just something to elevate yourself so you can raise that arm and lower it below your center of mass to the floor. and you'll get a really good scapular stability out of that, which is so important for lifting. If you're a lifter of any kind, overhead lifting, you gotta have, especially like CrossFit, if you're doing thrusters and snatches and that kind of stuff where you're above your head, you gotta have good shoulder strength to protect that shoulder, scapular strength to protect that shoulder. Athletes too, overhead athletes, and even just everyday people like you and me who are trying to put things on shelves and pick up kids. If you don't have good scapular stabilizers, you're leaving your shoulder up for a very potential injury. And if you're having some pain, you can straighten that up. Sometimes that can go away.